in the audience before we get started?
I see Ramadan,
Hey,
Lone
Ramadan.
Wolf. Yes, she is lovely. Another positive and strong-willed woman, and I always appreciate her
Hello.
presence.
Thank you, women, for
Uh,
joining.
I see Rich Arm Rich, and
Hey, Rich Rich. Thank you for joining.
yes, he's got a lovely book out as well. I think it's called The Color of Life or Color of My Life or Color
Mhm.
My Life. It's one of those. But it's a beautiful book. It's
Oh,
definitely
his
very
love
passionate
story.
filled.
Is it Armand
Yes.
Rich? Oh, yes, it's beautiful. Because I had him on and he was excuse me, he told me his wife inspired that. I believe that's what he said.
Hmm.
Yes,
Hmm.
his wife. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's
So
awesome.
I
We
appreciate that.
women, woohoo! I don't like to say we rule, but we impact society
Hmm.
big time, you know. Um, but we do contribute a lot, a lot, a lot. Now, it's about you, Nepal, the
Okay.
wonderful. Okay, today is Women's History Month, of which we celebrate every day because we're women. We love being women. We love being girly and all of that good stuff.
Yes.
Today we celebrate Nopal Flower, for she is blazing her trail with poetry, leaving a history that shall be remembered. Ladies and gentlemen, Nopal Flower, and I would love for you to open it up with a poem, please.
Okay. This one is called Lies Along the Road to Truth. There are lies along the road to truth. Don't step on a crack or else you'll break your mama's back. Whereas my mom's back has been broken for a very long time. And not exactly her back, but more that her sciatic nerve is so inflamed it feels as if her spine is going to give from the burden she carries. My mom is a stout woman, robust, a strength that does not shudder. She endures, sometimes even stubbornly, when we as her grown children offer her help. She'll say she's fine, she's got it, meaning standing for hours at the stove. We tell her, don't worry about the cooking, we'll do a family potluck, share the labor, or order in. She always comes up with something to add at the table that everyone is going to devour. And now when the house is downsized to her and Appa, she still cooks for an army platoon or three. Her door constantly open for family and company. There are times when someone may come through unannounced, and when she's tired from staying up late nights to all the way when the sun has risen, she will gutsy up the strength and make you feel at home, with a warm meal and nurturing breathtaking hugs you'll ever feel. My mother is a hummingbird soul feeder. And so I open that up because my mom is my strength. And the women around me have been my strength and have been my inspiration of being in my own person. And so I actually talk a lot about the women and the people in my life. And so I know yes, this is celebrating me, but I'm not just myself. I also have people with me that have helped me become the person that I am. And she has been one of those people, if not the main person to really encourage me in my writing. Um, and so I have to honor my parents. Actually, my parents are in the living room right now. So if you hear
Oh,
laughter at some
man.
point or another, it's my parents and my sister. They came over to visit, and so they know I'm here in the room, like doing this right now.
Well, tell
So
them I
so
said
you know,
thank you for sharing, and thank God for, like you said, your mother's strength, because that's the thing about women and especially mothers. No matter what they're going through, they're going to make sure their family is okay. You know, um, so that's awesome. That in
yeah,
spite of all that, yeah, she's a definite inspiration. You know, thank God for mom.
yeah.
Now, my first question. Well, wait a minute. because you're more than just a writer. You're a writer, a poet, an author, an editor, a photographer, and an owner
Yes.
of Prickly Hair Production and Services.
Yes.
Okay, so my first question is, when did you start writing?
Probably when I was about 5, maybe, or
Wow.
so.
Hmm.
And so I started very young. If you ask my mom, she will say I started reading, and she doesn't know how I started reading. I just started reading. And from there, I think, got the urge to wanting to write my own stories
That's
and,
funny.
write about everything that I saw and felt. And, I would say 12 was definitely the pinnacle of wanting to write more, and especially poetry specifically at 12 is when I
What
really
happened?
started writing poetry.
What
And
happened that
so
made it like a definite? What happened at 12? Do you mind me asking?
I think it was just more I had been reading poems here and there like around 10 and 11, and I just liked the rhyme schemes of it, that they were very short, they didn't have to be very long, that you can make an impact with such a small, you know, what is it, real estate of words. And so, um, to me, being able to do that is really good. But most of my writing is prose poetry. And so I like to tell the stories in my poems, or be descriptive in my poems when I talk about someone or something. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's like, to me, it's like the poetry can be short stories, like very, very short synopses. And more so, especially, I had a friend in junior high who wrote poetry herself, and her poetry was very raw and real, and um, it spoke of, well, love, but she was a very more grown woman than I was. Like
Mm-hmm.
her childhood ended quick. And so her poetry spoke of things that maybe someone more in their older age would have those kind of experiences, right?
Right.
And so seeing that and reading that and the emotions that that carried, her life was also very different from mine. I grew up in a two-parent household. Her mom was raising her,
Mm-hmm.
and so we had different lives, but the one thing that brought us together was our poetry.
Right.
And so her poetry really opened up my eyes, and really seeing the world even more than what I was seeing it. And to bring in the reality into our poetry, to acknowledge, the things that maybe we don't always want to see. And so, and not to say that my poetry was veiling over things, but the definitely the whimsical of it, because I do have poems that are whimsical, but I also have those poems that bring in the truth of things that we need to acknowledge, that we can't ignore, and that we need to bring attention to.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And that's the one thing I like about poetry. It doesn't have to be like everyone else's because everyone has their own story, their own truth, the lives that they live. Everyone has their voice and and we've been given a right to use these voices to, like you said, express things that are going on in the world and things that are just pleasant and nice and I guess whimsical. But so I really appreciate, yes, poetry, um, art, period, because it allows us to express things that are going on inside of us, inside our minds and our hearts. So it's really it's a blessing to be able to use the gift to express ourselves. Yeah, definitely. My next question: when did spoken word come into play?
Uh, Hmm. Well, I would say the first impact was when I had to do the graduating poem for fifth grade.
Oh, wow.
Uh, my teacher asked me to be one of the speakers, and I had my sister help me write what I wanted to say.
Mhm.
And I remember going up to the mic and reading what she had written, and the whole audience stayed quiet.
Mhm.
And there was babies crying, but they had stayed silent during the whole time that I had spoke. And then everyone clapped. And my mom was there when she was all like, "Oh, my baby's graduating from elementary school." And so she was like very, you know, amazed by it that everyone had stayed quiet for that speech. And there was like two other people who spoke before me, two other people who spoke after me, but no one had stayed that quiet. And I was even surprised, like, oh wow, did I say something? So knowing at that age that power of your voice and
Mhm.
how you can really invigorate, a group, like that really does get you to do it. The second time around that I had exposure to it was a competition, a poetry competition.
Mhm.
And I submitted a poem, and it was about women, about Sandra Cisneros, Jennifer Lopez, and all these other women that Latina women. And I got second place. And when they had this dinner, right, to applaud to all those that had competed, and they called me up. They asked me, what school I was from, but they had me read the poem, and everyone there really enjoyed my poem. Some people were even like, "Oh, if we would have known what high school you were from, we probably would have put you at first place." I didn't put the high school I was from. A
Oh,
lot
wow.
of the people there were from that high school, but
Wow.
more they actually really liked the poem. I mean, out of everyone who was there, they actually had me read my poem.
Right.
And again, that was something that, really encouraged me. But spoken word, I would say I probably didn't really start going out more until about 2017, 2016. And
Mhm.
that was through a group called Word Humboldt up in Humboldt County in Northern California.
Mhm.
And they would do open mics at the cafe, and I would show up once in a while and share a poem or two. And it's, when you're well received and encouraged to come back, definitely don't shy away from that. So,
Yes.
you know,
Yes.
it's a good
That's
feeling.
awesome. That's awesome. Now, please give us another taste of Nepal flower, the wonderful.
Okay, this is a little bit in my sensual self. So, she's hazard lights on at a railroad crossing, surprising me with her black bag full of sex toys, floggers, paddles, condoms, magnum, regular vaginal dental dams. She is nasty in all the best of ways, honoring and respecting her body and latex protection, her kink flaming like a blowtorch while I'm a novice of birthday candles getting blown by her. Her smile simple, but when she begins to do her dance, luring me into her trance, the snake within her bites me, leaving me paralyzed at the whims of her discretion. She laughs and taunts me, tickling bones and crevices of my body I never knew were sensitive to touch. Engulfed into her happiness, slowly and surely the brightness of her takes me into bliss. All I can do is accept my fate and fall in deeply into her abyss of soft satin petals, lulling serenades. Her rhythmic lambada, I can see no more but the tunnel vision of her beauty, and I resign with no refusal to all of her desires.
Excellent.
I love it. I love it.
You should have known you was gonna get some of the 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 what do you call it? I call
The
it
siren.
it's the fly, it's the fire button. That's what it is. It's the fire button. We gotta.
Oh, I needed some, some firemen, some single firemen out there.
Okay, okay. Neil, how how long has photography been a passion for yours?
Mm, I've always liked drawing pictures of where I would go and travel with my family.
Mhm,
And I would draw like scenic escape scenes or so.
mhm,
Um, and I think at some point, I don't know, my family really, when I got a camera in my hands at 15,
mhm,
that was to me like the chance to take pictures all the time. And I took pictures every chance that I could get.
mhm,
Um, I have to actually e- upload all my photos at least every couple of months from my phone into my cloud because I take too many photos. And I'm really starting to get into videography right now. And so now I'm doing more videos than and just like glimpses throughout the day, to kind of do that. Um, but I think taking photographs of the moment, is really important. Capturing, someone's, I don't want to say essence, but kind of, or their, just that instant moment where you really see somebody or see something and you want to
mhm,
capture it.
mhm,
Um, I love being able to do that. Like there's moments where uh, I wish I would have taken, when we had cameras, uh, taken more pictures of my family that's no longer present. And so I would draw them instead, and take the time in drawing them. Like I have an old drawing of my grandfather from
mhm.
like 1999,
Wow.
and I still have it because it's how I captured him there, just by drawing him out. So
Mhm.
to me, it's an advanced form of my drawing technique.
That's
It's a lot
awesome.
easier. But it takes practice, because you're perfecting your eye. And I can see the development from what when I used to take pictures younger and
Mhm,
now. Also, the technology has gotten better. So, when you have a chance to and the income to get a camera, I still don't have an actual professional camera.
mhm,
I'm still using my phone. But when you play with editing skills and everything like that, it's just another form of art that really gives you a chance to express yourself and to um,
mhm.
you know have people see the world from your eye.
Yes, yes. And that's something because every picture tells a story, you know. And I love taking. I've always been the one to take pictures in the family, um,
Hmm.
of my relatives and whatnot.
Hmm.
So they'll call me up. Do you have a picture of so and so? Yes, you can get a copy, but you can't have the actual picture, but you can have a copy. And it also,
Hmm.
I always told my son, I've always like taken pictures of him because I said sometimes you need to be reminded of who you are. So,
Hmm.
because sometimes you go through things in life and
Hmm.
it's not that you forget, but you're so focused on the pain or the anger
Hmm.
and whatnot, you
Yeah.
don't you don't operate in who you fully are. And
Hmm.
I can testify to that because I was going through something and I was a hairstylist, and I was working in the salon, and one of my friends who was a hairstylist, we were in Virginia Beach years ago, and she came on in this particular day. She showed me this picture of that she took that I didn't even know she took of me and my friends down in Virginia Beach, and it was the picture, the way it was, the way I looked in the picture, and I was, in the front, and just like I was leading, and which I know I'm called to do, but I needed to be reminded of that. And it was like, I was like, this is who you are. You need to remember what you was thinking then, and how you was feeling, and all of that. And I was like, oh my God, you understand? So that's excellent that you take pictures and you capture people, whether it's a drawing or, like you said, a photo.
Mm-hmm.
It's needed. You know what I mean? And it brings joy because I love looking at pictures uh, and all the good times that I've had, so, and that we've
Mm-hmm.
had, with my friends and family. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, and that is one of the things too. I definitely take a lot of pictures of my family, but also just everything. And I know my sister once in a while tells me, she's like, ah, sometimes I just hate when you take pictures, but other times I'm really grateful that you take pictures.
Yes, exactly, exactly,
And so, and
exactly,
it is like, who else is going to capture our stories but ourselves,
exactly.
And so, um, if you have someone in your family who is the documenter, who's the historian, who's, the transcriber, like
Hmm.
really whoever is the artist in your family, like definitely love them and cherish them because they'll capture things that, yes, sometimes maybe you don't want that to be seen.
Hmm.
Other times they'll capture things and you're like, wow, I didn't even notice. Just like how you said.
Exactly,
And
exactly.
that's the important thing. So
Yes, yes. Well, Mr. William Washington of One on One Poetry said congratulations and thank you for joining, Mr. Washington. Um,
yes. Hi,
yes, he said
William.
congratulations. And Kale, is that Kale Wordbird?
Callie
Um,
Wordword,
okay,
yes.
Kelly Wordbird.
She
She
is
said this is
awesome.
so on time. Yes, yes. Because I love what you're saying. The word, the words you're using to say the person that's taking the pictures or documenting things, that those things are needed because that's how we trace our history, and that's all a part of the legacy we're leaving. So they'll know how to do things and why we did certain things and whatnot.
Mhm.
So yeah, this is good. I'm glad you came on the show. Yay!
Oh, I'm grateful. I'm super grateful.
Yeah,
I'm
and
always,
I love
up
that you
for.
have been operating in your gifts from a young age. That's really, important because a lot of people don't, Oh, Mr. Washington, she's going to do some more poetry. Just give us a second. He said he didn't want to miss it. He didn't want to miss it. As a matter of fact, I'm going to ask her these three questions pertaining to my books, and then she's going to give us few poems, please. But okay, I want one of your deepest thoughts, one of your favorite expressions, and one of your dirty little secrets.
My deepest thought. Like a quote?
Whatever you want, it can be whatever you want it to be. It's your thought. You're going to share it with the world.
Oh man.
Uh-oh. Uh, uh-oh. Is that a dirty little
Um,
secret or is that a deep thought?
no, no, no. Okay, my dirty little secret is I'm definitely a very sensual person, and I'm very embracing of my sexuality and my sensuality. And it's actually not a dirty little secret. It's pretty well known.
Oh, oh,
If you see my naked poet, like I'm very open to being loving of my body and of myself, and of encouraging other women to be in their sensual self, to not be afraid, and be proud of who we are, and the way we wish to carry ourselves without the necessity of anything. You know, the way we are is the way we are. Now, if we wish to, pretty ourselves up, it's for ourselves, not for
Mm-hmm.
others, not for the attention
Mm-hmm.
of others or anything. It's us doing it for us. And and that's the thing, is I want, I celebrate me, and I celebrate the women around me, because we are all fantastic goddesses of this world. And yeah, we need to be cherished and respected and valued for what we are and who we
Yeah.
are and what we offer to this world. So,
Yes, most definitely. And I totally agree. And I agree with you also on women embracing their sexuality, and enjoying it. Because that's why I do the erotic poems that I do. Because growing up, it was a little different, and sex was, it's like you only do it if you're married, and don't do this and don't do that. And then I was exposed to porn at a young age. So I was like, oh, I'm definitely not doing that. So
yeah.
it wasn't until I got older that I started embracing myself and started embracing sex, and it extremely enjoyable. And I'm like, okay, this needs to be told. Someone needs to hear this. So yeah. So when I speak it comes from a place of enjoyment, you know, it's good. It's good to
Yeah,
enjoy. Yeah.
that's
So,
good.
well, without further ado, oh wait. Okay, so your favorite expression, and then we need to.
Okay, my favorite expression would be a quote. Let me see if I can pull it out real fast. Hmm, let me see. Hmm. It's impossible, said pride. It's risky, said experience. It's pointless, said reason. Give it a try, whispered the heart.
Read that again.
Okay, this is not my words. This is something that it's anonymous. I don't even know who wrote this.
Okay.
It's impossible, said pride. It's risky, said experience. It's pointless, said reason. Give it a try, whispered the heart.
I like that. That was for me to hear today. Thank you. I like that. That was for me to hear. I wish I could read on the screen what said, but I
Let
can't.
me see.
Uh,
Well, I am a man and I'm comfortable with my sexuality and I embrace it too. Yes. And that's the thing is, yes, men also need to embrace their sensuality as well. Like their
mhm,
sexuality, yes, but like the soft side of yourself. And I
mhm,
think when you're around women or around people that are embracing their femininity,
mhm,
and men feel comfortable around that, you know, then it's like they can be in their softness. They can be not ashamed that they have those emotions and
mhm,
that they can express themselves in that way. So,
mhm. Yes, and which makes it more enjoyable.
yeah,
So
it does. It really does.
more enjoyable. Now, please give us another taste of Nepal flower, the wonderful.
Okay, I'm going to give this one. Black God, hold your head up high. See the peace within this sacred place, obliterating what goes outside. Black God, you are loved, upheld to standards rising above. Walk above the murky waters, soar into the universe. Be the sun that you are and radiate your light. Black God, you are brilliant with locks, arriving into your constellations, creating kaleidoscopes and tapestries with ancestry wisdom. Black God, gather yourself obsessively. You are deserving and worthy of all the love offered to you.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I love that. Yes,
Thank you.
very nice. And please, another one.
Okay. Snow-covered mountains reflecting the kisses of your sunset. And all I want is your exuberating heat. You are pupusa filled with intoxicating loroco cheese, revuelto with passion, all-encompassing love, stretching like ooey gooey cheese, stringing around my tongue your savory salty morsels, satiating my starving hunger for the depths and fill of you. I want to eat you incorrectly with fork and knife and eat you right with my hands all over you so I can feel you with not just my mouth but with all of my fingers and palms so I can write you right and not miss the garnishes of your affections. Bury me in your cortido and drown me in your enraging salsa roja.
One day I'm going to learn to speak Spanish. Even if I have to go somewhere and live for a year, I'm going to come out. Da, 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 da,
Do
da,
it.
da.
Do it. Do it. It's the
I'm
best
telling
way
you.
to learn. Immersion into the culture.
Exactly, exactly. I was like, that's the best way. I tell people that all the time when I meet someone of a different race who speaks a different language. I'm like, oh, it's coming. I'm going to do that one year before I leave this earth. Live somewhere else for a year and come out. And he's talking about let's converse in Spanish
Yes.
or French or
Hey.
something. But yes, definitely have to go into that. Now, please tell us what services Prickly Pear Productions and Services offer.
Okay. Currently, right now, what I'm offering is photography in the Los Angeles, California area. Unless I somehow happen to be in your area, I'll let you know. So in June, I will be in Chicago for from like the 14th through the 1st of July. And
Mhm.
so if there's people who want photographs, whether it's portraits or anything like that, definitely hit me up. The main thing that I've been working on is editing. I am an editor. I love to read people's manuscripts and really help them in getting their book out because I had someone help me. And so I want to be able to do that for others, is provide that service. So any writers out there who have a manuscript ready or who need guidance to get a manuscript ready, again, hit me up.
That's awesome. Congratulations on your book. Please share the title and where people can purchase your book.
Okay. My book is called Family and Other Problems, and it is available on Amazon. I also have many copies at home, so if you want a signed copy, you can just hit me up in the DMs. I will have a link available later this week for anybody who does want to purchase it through Amazon. But like I say with everyone is the more support that you can give directly to the artists, the better it is for them, the better it is for you, because we like to give little gifts, or at least myself, I like to give little gifts with the support that you give with every book that is purchased. And I'm always very thankful and grateful for the love that people give. And I like to give and reciprocate that love back. And if we have time, I can read one of the poems in the book.
Oh,
I don't
most
know.
definitely. As a matter of fact, you can do that now, please.
All right. Okay. This is one of my favorites. We are the revolution. I am a revolution. My mother gave birth to me and my siblings in the 70s and 80s. The battle to have a baby, women of color, Latina, Black, women who spoke other languages, illiterate, immigrant, undereducated, under the poverty line, indigenous, women from the Appalachian Mountains were being sterilized. They were not accurately explained the medical procedure of a limpia, what it meant to be sterilized. They were denied their medical rights. No interpreter on site. Most of the time, they were lied to while in labor, pain medication held up in front of them along with a piece of paper, told to sign and the pain would go away, not knowing also the next generation of doctors, lawyers, the cure to cancer, innovators, creators. Our births into this world is a revolution. As I grew and developed, I got thrown into another revolution, the revolution of preserving my own lengua y cultura while simultaneously assimilating into the public education system. Patted on the head at the age of 9 by a white teacher after they asked me to spell the word different. Made me feel patronized without knowing the word. I knew what she had done was wrong, using me like some re-educated other and not seen at the same level like the white kids. I fought out of the ESL classes, trained my tongue, stopped its lisping, spoke in Spanish in secret, solamente con mis amistades y familia en la casa, alrededor el barrio. My evolution as woman. My period flowing out of me, its glorious crimson blood, she herself is a revolution. The choice of free bleeding, looking for alternatives, keeping myself clean when bleeding, not choosing to invest in cotton tampons that cause toxic shock syndrome or yeast infections. These actions alone are revolution. Choosing to not consume birth control, my partners using condoms, saying no to unnecessary hormones in my body is a revolution. I am a revolution. My evolution into my womanhood is a revolution. The large, full-bodied, big booty being of my physical me is a revolution. I'm a huge fuck you to the advertised skinny bitches. Your glorified fakeness on billboards is not the only kind of beauty on this planet. We need to take a look in the mirror. See our image clearer, realize and acknowledge our being, ourselves, our souls are a revolution. Self-love is a revolution. Love to our brethren and sisters is a revolution. We are the motherfucking revolution.
Honey, don't make me say power to the people, no delay.
I got to.
I love it. I love it. Yes. Awesome. Fire. Truth. Honey, speak. Yes, definitely. Would you like to read another poem from the book?
I can very much read another poem. All right.
Thank you.
This one is called Endometriosis. It's also in the book. 1 in 10 women are diagnosed with endometriosis, but could be closer to 1 in 5. 6.3 million American women affected. Our organic selves, not wanting to let go of what could be, searching for connection. We are ridding of our topsoil, diving deeper to our nutrient-rich ascended oneness. Ripping open into vulnerability, exposed unapologetically, brown, raw, real, uncontrollable primal emotions erupting vocally from traumatized ancestral screams to modern verbal discourse, demanding our health and bloodline be respected, counteractions taken, sometimes our organs, the necessary and invasive procedures, scarring cures, considered alleviation from our inner turmoil.
I mean, yes, you on a healing mission, and I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Because those are things people don't talk about. Like you might talk about it with one of your close girlfriends, but out in the open on platforms, you know, they don't speak of those things. So that's awesome because it
And
needs to
and
be heard.
and that is one of the things is one of my close friends, um, they have endometriosis, and that's how actually I became aware was because of their journey and how they've been enduring and going through this. And it is definitely a battle that not a lot speak of.
Mm-hmm.
And because when you start to go through it at a certain age, you just think it's just bad cramps, and
Mm-hmm.
then you just think, oh, maybe it's something else. Like you just don't know. And so you have to really, like, what she has had to do is very much advocate for herself, uh, in the medical field, and fight for medical assistance in regards to understanding what it is that is going on in her body, and this what this endometriosis is.
Exactly.
And um and so, knowing more about it, like, she had to do a fundraiser,
Mm-hmm.
and so a lot of us got together and helped her out with it. And one of the things I did was I wrote little tiny, in yellow. Actually, they were yellow little stars.
Mm-hmm.
And yellow is actually the color to support and acknowledge endometriosis and the people who fight against endometriosis, survivors of endometriosis. And so I wrote the address and wrote a factoid behind this piece of paper, of the yard sale that we were having. And I put it on random cars around parking lots and everywhere we could before we got there. And the
Mm-hmm.
people who showed up were people we didn't know, random
Mm-hmm.
strangers, and
Mm-hmm.
they all had a story about someone they knew who had endometriosis.
Yep.
About There was one, he was a retired nurse
Mm-hmm.
who worked with patients who were battling with endometriosis.
Mm-hmm.
And that just gave her more encouragement, and also the support she needed to do what she needed to do.
Exactly.
And we were able to raise, some money for her to be able to go and do the surgery that she needed to do,
Exactly.
um, and not worry too much financially about that. And so, you know, definitely talking about our reproductive health, talking about our sexual healing, and it's one of the things that I really love about being a woman is that we actually talk a lot about a lot of things.
Yes, we do.
And we need to, and we need to be able to encourage our younger generations, and everyone that's around us to be able to communicate and speak their mind, and not be afraid, because that person's story, our story, can really help someone else and navigate their life and
Exactly.
understand maybe what it is that they're going through that they didn't know. But wow, we have similar things in common. And 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 it, it just it just bing, there's the light bulb. Maybe I
Right.
should consider that. So
Exactly. And in that, you feel so much better because it tells you you're not by yourself,
mhm.
fearless, and you're not crazy. Because sometimes when you go through things, you think you're by yourself and nobody else is going to understand or whatever. But when you start sharing it, it's like, and they say, I understand because the same thing happened to me or something similar or my friend or whatever. So, yes,
Mhm.
definitely. Definitely. And like you said, we're all connected.
Yeah.
So
Just gotta open our mouth
exactly.
and open our
Yes.
eyes and our ears
Yes.
and all of our
Yeah.
senses.
Exactly. Exactly. I love it. I love it. I love it. Now, before you go, we would definitely like one more poem. And before you do your poem, what's your choice? You could do your poem and then give some encouraging words, or give encouraging words and then do your last poem. It's up to you.
Ooh, okay. Well, um, let's see. Well, I'm debating on what to do as the last poem. I do have one that I skipped over
Well, you
because
can
I
do
feel that
two.
this is okay. Maybe I'll do two.
See, the hearts went up when I said that. You can do two. They was like, yes, yes, do
Okay.
two.
Um, write everything. Write about everything and write everything. Uh, write when you're tired, write when you're exhausted, write when you're angry, write when you're frustrated, write when you're smiling, write when you're sad. Because when you write it all out, things will get better.
Yes.
And
Yes.
like you said, when you write it all out, it's it is evidence of what you're going through, and you can always trust your writing
Mm-hmm.
and look
Yes.
back at it,
Yes.
and to know that, like, that is powerful, because
Yes.
you're giving yourself acknowledgement and value for who you are and for what you write. More
Yes.
than anything else, you are validating yourself for when you write and express yourself.
Yes.
So maybe not 100 people or so are gonna read this book, but I wrote this, and this is mine, that I can say is mine, and all the stories in there, and
Yes.
I'm proud of that. So
Yes.
right,
Yes. But more than 100 are going to read it. Yes. More than 100.
manifest.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. Honey, listen. And that's another thing. Even long after we're gone, our names will be spoken, our words will be heard, people will be healed. So we're here, we're fulfilling what we were sent in this earth to do. So, yes,
Mm.
yes, yes. Exactly. Exactly. Now please give us another taste of Nepal flower, the wonderful.
Okay, this one's gonna be a little dark, but it's important in the sense of, again, uh, not everything is roses, and
Before
there are
you go any
definitely
further, can I say that dark is so underrated because it's actually a power place. It's actually
it is.
where you discover who you are. So don't ever apologize saying this is going to be a little dark. Honey, this is going to be a little liberating. So apologies for stopping you, but I just had to say that because I'm like,
Oh
no,
yeah,
dark
yeah.
is good.
I'm more not unapologetic about it, but it's just because we've been on this whole thing of love, right? This healing and stuff. These are this one is, it is a personal experience, and so it's definitely, um in a sense, taking my power back because I wrote this. And so even at the time when it was very, um very frustrating, that, we as women, yes, we need to be acknowledged and valued and honored, but there are definitely going to be some days where we will have experiences where there are people that do otherwise. So, um, and yeah, that's pretty much it about this one. So I think that's why I skipped over. I was like, but it needs to be shared, because
Mm-hmm.
I know we've all gone through that at some point in our lives.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm not going to wash over it and say and ignore it like it doesn't happen. It happens. It happens when we sometimes least expect it. And so, but aside from those moments, we can still always look at the upside to it,
Yeah.
of, and know that that was just a moment, and there's still so much more ahead of us that we
Yes.
can enjoy and be appreciative of and love, and to not become bitter because of those experiences. So,
Exactly.
sorry. I forget sometimes that I'm a girl until I find myself alone on a basketball court with some random stranger staring at me while I play, attempting and flexing their muscles or taking off their shirt when they are not even the one dribbling the ball and shooting hoops. Just sitting on the bleachers smoking cigarettes, staring at someone else playing a game, who then proceeds to follow her out the court and walk ahead of her, pretending as if he's going the same direction as she is, and then stops midway, letting her pass by to catch a glimpse of her ass one more time as she walks away. I forget sometimes that I'm a girl until I feel I need to put my headphones away, stop playing the music loudly that helps me find some peace away from this outside world, and put myself on high alert, wondering if the guy at the park is still following me, wondering if I need to scream today, looking around to see who's out in the streets at 9 a.m. in the morning, who could possibly help me if I need someone to help me fight. If it is my turn to run to somebody's house and ask for help. Can I run? Do I need to run? Thinking the universe that it's not too early in the morning, that there are cars driving by and people walking along, talking myself down. Maybe it's only my mind playing tricks on me. Sometimes I forget that I'm a girl until I start to notice the same black vehicle going in circles about 4 times and pulls over a block ahead of me. So I walk across the street to be safe because I'm still suspicious of the guy who was following me from the park. So now I'm being vigilant about everybody and everything, and I see a different guy walk out of the vehicle and cross the street, and I start to think, oh, maybe he's picking up a friend to go somewhere. And I forget sometimes I'm a girl until that stranger begins to talk to me as I'm walking, trying to just make it home, asking if I'm going for a walk, which obviously I am, and then tells me without any respect or human decency that I have a big old butt, and yes, obviously I do, and I'm already on edge because the other guy was following me out the court, and now I don't know who's worse, that guy or this guy with a car, or maybe men just suck. Because all I was trying to do was go for a walk, play some ball, and walk back home before 10 a.m. on a goddamn Saturday morning. And I haven't had coffee yet or breakfast. And I was already wondering if I'm going to die today. I'm going to fight all the way with bloody teeth, and someone is going with me. Sometimes I forget I'm a girl, a woman, someone's daughter, someone's sister, someone's auntie, maybe one day a mother, until some guy has me feel protective of my own safety, and I'm not a girl anymore. I'm lethal and pissed off, but also soft and only wanting to be respected, valued, honored. 'Cause fuck, I am a girl, a woman, and no one needs to be fucking going through this bullshit any time of the day. And all I can be thankful for is kumquats that I found along the route on my way home.
You know, even not forgetting your girl, every woman thinks like just want to make it home without, like you said, the bull crap. So That's, yeah, that needed to be said. And it wasn't dark, it was honest, it was truth, you know? So I'm glad for your life, for your thought process, that you express it. You're a blessing. Yeah, and a blessing that definitely is heard. So, yeah, you're a game changer, a world changer. Don't stop. You know, seek God's ear in his heart for where he wants you to go with this because it's bigger than what you think, you know. And I'm not saying you're thinking small, but it's a lot bigger than what you think it is. So um, get in God's ear and give him your ear because
Definitely.
yes, it definitely those your poems need to be heard in schools, definitely elementary schools and things of that nature. Grown women groups everywhere. Yeah. So it's a like I said, it's a truth and it's a love and a healing that's needed in the world. That's needed in the world. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
I very much appreciate that.
you.
So I'm going to give this one last poem. A lot of these poems are new poems that I've written in the last maybe couple months, if not in the last week. So I'm very grateful that I get to share these into the light, and so yeah. So this is a recent one. I think I wrote this yesterday. My apotheosis is the stratosphere of the galaxy. Above God's creation of the universe, I am the maker of life. The origins of my name come from Hebrew and Latin. I am the feminine form, Roman, Christian. I am the star of the sea, grace. I am mysterious at times, a rolling fog obstructing paths in open waters. I can be vicious at times, like the changing currents of the sea. I am not an inferior kind. There is no ersatz of me. I am one of a kind, an enemy, breaking down modernity and the inequalities and inequities of society. I am water. I am life.
Like I said, you are purpose. Continue to walk in it.
Thank you.
Continue to live it. Continue to walk in it and continue to live it and continue to speak it. Definitely. Definitely. I'm so glad that you came on the show today. And
Me
of
too.
all
This
the
is
days for you to come on, this is a blessing. Yes. 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 Thank
it's my highlight. It's my highlight of the whole week.
you. That is
I'm gonna
so
be on a high for a while.
that is so awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this has been a taste of Lavina, Poetic, Empress, coming at you with none other than Nopal Flower, the wonderful. Oh, thank you. Look, I'm giving you a hug. Thank you.
I know. I feel that.
Yes. I
I hope
love
you
it. You
feel
know, I
my.
love it when I get guests that come on is that connection. You just want to be like, oh, I love you. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I know people in the audience does. So, you know,
And
so thank
I just want to say, because I didn't get to say this early, girl, you are glowing. You are glowing. I just love your whole style. I'm like, ooh. I was like,
thank you.
I feel underdressed even though I'm wearing a coat. I'm like, I feel underdressed.
No, you're beautiful. Because that's the one thing about when people's hearts, when you're pure and you're true, you're honest, and you came on here being who you are, you're shining. You're shining. So, like I said, I feel that. So it's all good. It's all good. You're perfect.
Oh, thank you. Okay. All
You're
right.
perfect.
Well, thank you so much again. I feel very blessed to be here and honored to be here.
Yes.
And definitely, um, yeah, I'm always down to come back anytime.
Oh, most definitely. Thank you.
All right.
Yes. Good night.
Listen. Bye, everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for joining. This has been a taste time. Lavina, Poetic, Empress, and I'm coming at you every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. live right here on Instagram. And everyone, thank you so much for joining, for tuning in. And I have a surprise. Well, in any case, um, I will see you guys next Tuesday. And books for sale. So hit me up if you're in the tri-state area. I will bag them up in a pretty red bag and deliver them. And I will see you guys next Tuesday evening. Mwah. Much love to all of you. Thank you. Good night.